All right, so in this video, I want to talk about doing social media on 30A, basically how to do social media if you are just starting from scratch. So if you're watching this video, the people who need to be watching this is if you have kind of been stumped on where to start, I'm going to tell you where to start and I'm going to kind of teach you about how to, you know, how to do social media if you want to do it. So for starters, what is social media? Social media is just a daily representation of your brand and your offerings and what you do. It's kind of like whatever your brand is, if you're selling real estate, it's kind of just a day in the life and you're going to promote your brand, but it's not traditional advertising. It's meant to tell a story. It's not as much meant to a straight hard pitch. Okay, so you've got to approach it that way to succeed in social media. You got to have a plan. You got to, have a plan of attack of what you're going to do. You got to have a consistent style. And really, you want to be able to put out quick, thoughtful posts as often as possible. You kind of got to think of it as quantity over quality. All right, you got to be consistent and you got to do quantity over quality. You can't expect every post to be perfect. Okay, you're only going to get good at social media by doing social media. And if you ever do social media because you're worried about the quality, then what's the point? Okay. And this is from a professional photographer telling you this. It's like, don't buy into the whole, you got to hire a professional. You got to have all these fancy equipment. It's like, don't buy into that. Just do it. Okay. And that's really what this whole free reels package is I'm giving people, you're not going to be able to have an excuse of why you didn't do social media. All right, so that's what social media is. Now let's talk about parts of a social media post, meaning like what you have to actually put one together. Okay, let's start with the obvious, photos and videos for visual impact. That's what I'm helping you with. I'm a professional photographer, videographer, lived down here 15 years, or I've lived here my whole life, worked down here professionally as a photographer for 15 years. I'm giving in this Reels package, it's like at the very least, you're not going to have an excuse. You've got, if you're going to create a post, you've got to have a photo or a video. I mean, think about it. Like, could you even start without that? So that's where I tell everyone, start with a strong photo or a strong video. Okay. But it doesn't stop there. Okay. Some people think it does. And it's like, no, it doesn't. That's one small little part. It's probably 10% of it. But you can't move forward without that. Next thing you're going to need is words. Okay, we call this copy. You're going to need all kinds of copy. You're going to need for the caption that's actually written in the post, but you're also going to need, on the photo or the video, you want to put, a title, or you want to tell people something. So I always like putting some kind of words on it. But either way, you're going to need words. Okay, you know that. Now, branding. Also, this is just it's optional technically, but I recommend always put your branding on the post. Okay, I mean, let me show you an example of like my idea of a perfect post. Like I use these examples right here. Okay, I made these fake dummy posts with me in it. Okay, but this is the perfect post. Okay, it's got the strong photo or the video. It's got words. Interested in 30A real estate. It can be writing a question is great because it forces them to think. It's got your personal branding, your headshot, which in the end, if you're selling real estate, that's what you're selling. It's got my logo or your logo, and then it's got a call to action. Okay. That is what I made these reels for posts like this. Make posts like this. If you're going to go to the trouble to download this post and be involved in our program, we want you to make posts like this, and we can help you make posts like this. Okay. So back to the presentation. Okay. Next thing, design. Okay. The final thing, once you have your photos, your words, and your branding, now you got to design. You got to put it together, or someone has to put it together for you. There's no really way around this. You're going to have to design it. I recommend using Canva. Okay. I've got it right here on my screen. This right here is, I recommend using Canva and have like a template as soon as it loads. See, this is an editable template, so I could change this as much as I wanted. All right. So Someone's going to have to design it. Either you got to design it or you got to hire someone. Either way, I recommend always doing it yourself, then teach someone. And then the final thing, once you've done all this, you got to publish it. You've got to actually go to the trouble of posting it, and then you've got to get engagement. That's a whole separate thing. But publishing, all right, either someone's gonna do it yourself or you're gonna hire someone. If you're gonna outsource it, here's a tip. I don't recommend getting the creative people to do it, because you need like your designer, your graphic designer, or the photographer, videographer. They're like creative people. They're not always the best with administrative. Publishing is an administrative task. You need to put the most competent person on your team. That's who needs to be in charge of publishing. That's just a tip after doing this for a long time. All right, next thing, engagement. Now this is I'm going to do a whole training course on how to get engagement. All right, engagement means like getting people to actually like it or write in the comments or share it. And truthfully, if you're doing organic social media, if it doesn't spread, it's dead. You kind of need to live by that ethos. But for starters, don't even worry about engagement until you have a content strategy, like what you're going to post, how you're going to post, what it's going to look like, blah, blah, blah. All right, so photos and videos. You need a consistent visual supply of photos and videos. You need to be creating it daily. The whole reason I'm doing this marketing program is because it's going to get that part out of the way. Okay, there's going to be all this other stuff you're going to have to do, but you need to like have a stock photo and video database of things that could always be a post for your brand. And whenever you're out, use your phone, please. All right, the real estate industry, one epidemic in the real estate industry is a few years ago. So, a lot of brokers will say you're not allowed to use your phone to like do marketing stuff. And it's like, you've got to get that out of your head. These cameras are amazing now. They're unbelievably professional. They're better than professional cameras now. Use your phone to its advantages, okay? And also, if you're taking part in this 38 Reels marketing project, look at the photos and the videos that I do and make similar ones, okay? Look at how I frame the shots. Like this is really just a training program of showing you how easy social media can be done, okay? Once I can get you, with all the clients I work with, once I can get them shooting themselves, all of a sudden the whole world opens up. And that's when they start succeeding. I'm a professional photographer, so it's real easy for them to say, no, I want you to do it. I want you to do it. But the problem is you're not going to always be able to afford a professional to shoot your stuff. You're not. It's just it's a social media post has to be done quick and consistently. And I'm $350 minimum to show up at a property or something. It's like, who the heck can afford that? And don't do that. Do not pay that kind of money for your own social media, at least in the beginning. All right, copywriting. There's three options for copywriting. One, you write it yourself. You hire a copywriter, or you just use AI. Now, I'd recommend using AI. Use ChatGPT. That's literally wrote this presentation for me. Now that AI is around, if you're not using AI, you're crazy. Literally, you're just like hurting yourself. But words, I always say words are like the unsung hero of marketing. Copy. Like no one really gives it enough credit, but you need to have strong copy. Okay, design, you want to have an aesthetic. Please use Canva, okay? If you're not using it now, you need to be. Mainly because if you're organized with it, you can have all these posts that it's really easy to make posts because all you're doing is like swapping out photos and videos. So that's where you want to get to where the branding, the call to action, the words kind of stay the same. And you're just like, anytime you shoot something, you just swap it out. Okay. And then the final thing is publishing. All right. Someone has to actually publish. This is where a lot of people struggle, believe it or not. It's like, you've got to build it into your routine and it doesn't matter. For one, you've got to get over the fear. Most people are afraid to be judged. When you publish something on social media, you're going to be judged, and you got to get over that fear and ignore the comments. Don't you're going to get a bad comment at some point because that's just the nature of social media. You know, there's a lot of toxic people out there. And usually the people that comment are the types of people that just, want to watch the world burn. So one of the rite of passages, when you're doing social media is you got to get over um, the possible negative stuff. Now there's the stuff that I teach you to post. There's no reason people should be negative, but still every now and then you are going to get a negative person. Ignore it. Just ignore it. Don't even read the comments. All right. And then engagement, that's kind of the final thing that, I kind of tell everybody, don't worry too much about growing followers or engagement until you've like been posting consistently every day for at least three months. Because I hate, the first time you post, you're not going to get anybody to like it. Like, that's just the way it is. That's the rite of passage you have to go through. Social media can be really effective if you do it the way it's meant to be used. If you use it the way it's meant to be used. But don't expect, you to make one post and then, like buyers and sellers are calling you, left and right. That's just not the way it works. Anyway, so this is first training video number one. We're going to be doing this all year. We're going to be giving you all this access to just unbelievable free photos and videos, and we're going to teach you how to do it. We offer all kinds of services. If you have any questions, just get in touch with me. Call me, text me, email me, reach out to me on social media. It really doesn't matter. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope if you have any questions about this, please get in touch.